6 months ago, I had $1,000 of idle capital sitting in my account, generating virtually nothing, and honestly, I almost deployed it the wrong way. I considered chasing speculative stocks. I thought about taking unnecessary risks trying to accelerate returns, and for a while, I nearly left the money sitting there doing absolutely nothing. But instead, I decided to build a dividend portfolio. No crypto, no meme stocks, no speculative trading, just dividend investing. So I created a simple portfolio designed to generate long-term cash flow, and I tracked exactly how much income it produced over 6 months. What happened during that process completely changed the way I think about investing, because the results were very different from what I expected. Now, before we get into the numbers, you need to understand the objective. I was not trying to become wealthy overnight. That's the mistake many investors make in 2026. Everyone wants immediate passive income, immediate financial freedom, immediate results. But dividend investing works differently. It starts slowly, sometimes painfully slowly. But over time, the portfolio begins compounding on itself, and eventually, your capital starts working harder than you do. That became the goal. Build something small today that could gradually evolve into a reliable income-generating portfolio in the future. Because in 2026, passive income feels more important than ever. Living costs continue rising, economic uncertainty remains high, and many investors are realizing a single income source no longer feels secure enough. That's why dividend investing has attracted so much attention recently. Not because it's exciting, but because it feels stable, predictable, and resilient. In reality, that feeling is underrated. But here's the problem nobody talks about. Most beginners damage their portfolios before compounding even has a chance to work. They chase elevated dividend yields. They see stocks offering 12, 15, even 20% yields and assume they discovered easy passive income. But in many cases, those businesses are financially weak. The dividend gets reduced, share prices decline, and investors lose both capital and income at the same time. The truth is, I almost fell into that trap too. So instead of chasing yield, I focused on quality. I divided the portfolio into 3 simple categories: the safety bucket, the income bucket, and the growth bucket. Each one served a completely different purpose inside the portfolio. The safety bucket became the portfolio foundation. This included ETFs like SCHD and DGRO. I allocated roughly $500 here. SCHD focuses on financially strong dividend companies with consistent distributions and healthy balance sheets. DGRO focuses on businesses with a long track record of increasing dividends over time. Together, these ETFs provided diversification, stability, and long-term dividend growth exposure. Looking back, this section of the portfolio gave me the most confidence, because instead of relying on a single company, I owned small pieces of dozens of high-quality businesses. But here's where things became more interesting. I didn't want the portfolio built entirely around ETFs. I also wanted direct exposure to individual dividend-paying companies. That became the income bucket. I allocated approximately $350 into companies like Coca-Cola, J&J, and Realty Income. These businesses have decades-long histories of paying shareholders consistently. Now, Realty Income stood out immediately for one reason: monthly distributions. And psychologically, that changes everything. Because once you receive your first dividend payment, even if it's small, your mindset starts shifting. You stop thinking like a short-term trader and start thinking like a long-term shareholder. That transition surprised me more than anything else. Then came the growth bucket. This was the smaller, more growth-oriented portion of the portfolio. I invested the remaining capital into companies like Microsoft and Apple. Now, the yields here were lower, but the long-term dividend growth potential was significantly stronger. These companies continue expanding earnings, growing free cash flow, and increasing shareholder distributions year after year. So that was the structure: simple, diversified, and designed for long-term compounding. Now let's talk about the actual results. What did this $1,000 portfolio really generate over 6 months? Starting with December, the income was extremely modest, roughly 35 cents. Looking back, my first reaction was disappointment. Because when people first hear about passive income, they imagine immediate results, not a tiny distribution hitting their account. And this is exactly where many beginners lose patience. Because dividend investing appears slow-moving in the beginning. But this next part changed everything for me. I realized the amount itself wasn't the important part. The system was. For the first time in my life, my portfolio generated income automatically while I did absolutely nothing. That realization hit differently. January generated roughly $1.26. February added another 65 cents. Still modest, still unimpressive on the surface, but every distribution was automatically reinvested through DRIP, which meant the portfolio was quietly accumulating additional shares behind the scenes. What surprised me was how strangely motivating that process became, because every small distribution slightly increased future income potential. Then March arrived, and this is where things started changing. The portfolio experienced what I call the quarterly convergence. Several quarterly dividend ETFs and blue-chip holdings distributed income around the same time. SCHD paid, DGRO paid. Multiple dividend positions overlapped simultaneously. Suddenly, the portfolio generated nearly $6 in a single month. Now, obviously, that was not a normal monthly payout pattern. It happened because multiple quarterly distributions converged at once. But psychologically, this was the first moment the dividend snowball actually felt real. And this is where many investors completely misunderstand dividend investing. It's not about the income generated today. It's about what that income can eventually become years from now. People often dismiss a $1,000 portfolio generating $10, but scale changes everything. That same strategy with $10,000 can generate meaningful supplemental income. And with $100,000, now you're discussing serious cash flow potential. That realization completely changed how I think about investing. Now, let's talk about the biggest mistakes I almost made in 2026. First, chasing elevated yields. Some positions looked incredibly attractive on paper. Massive distributions, extremely high yields. But deep down, I knew many of them carried significant risk. And most investors don't realize that until the dividend gets cut. Second mistake, reacting emotionally during market volatility. When markets pulled back earlier this year, I seriously considered pausing investments completely. In truth, that fear feels real when your portfolio declines, but dividend investing rewards patience, not panic. And the third mistake may be the biggest one of all, waiting too long to start. A lot of people spend years researching investing, watching videos, and trying to build the perfect portfolio. Meanwhile, they lose the most valuable asset in investing, time. Because compounding rewards people who start early, not people who start perfectly. Looking back, I genuinely wish I started sooner. So here's my strategy moving forward. I'm continuing to allocate $100 every month into this portfolio, primarily into SCHD and DGRO, and I'm keeping DRIP enabled across every position, because this is where long-term wealth creation truly begins. Not over 6 months, but over years. This portfolio probably will not transform my life tomorrow, but over 5, 10, or 15 years, that becomes a completely different conversation. And that's what dividend investing is really about, building a portfolio that quietly generates cash flow while you sleep. So if you had $1,000 to invest in 2026, what dividend stocks or ETFs would you choose? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to see the exact 3 ETFs I would personally prioritize right now for passive income, watch the next video on your screen, because that strategy could completely change the way you think about dividend investing.